Hi, I'm Kyle from Serendipity, and today we're going to be doing some coding. So, let's get started. So, how the game of Pong works is you have two players, one shown in red here, one shown in blue. And how it's going to work is this ball, which is automatically programmed, will be bouncing from side to side. It can't pass through these paddles, which are moving right now, but if it touches the opposite color, it scores a point for that color. So you can see blue here is going to bounce and end up touching its color right over here. Then if it touches red, it'll score. So if you have an iPad, you'll see that there is no keys, so we're going to have to click the right and the left button in order for us to move this red paddle. So red paddle will be moved by red letters, blue paddle will be moved by blue letters. So blue is to blue, red is to red. Awesome. So now that we got that figured out, whenever you click the red R button, that's what this means over here, what we want to do is we want to move to the right. Now remember, right is always going to be positive. So go ahead and follow me on this one. And we're going to move 10 steps. So you can see that when we click the green flag, that's what we click to go. You can see that if I click this red R over here, you can see that this paddle is indeed moving. So let's stop. And now let's figure out how we're going to move to the left side. And how we would do that is, well, everyone raise your right hand, and now raise the opposite hand. So the opposite of right is going to be your left. Same thing, the opposite of 10 is going to be, pause the video and go ahead and tell me. It's going to be negative 10. So I'm going to move 10 steps again as well, but instead of doing positive 10, we're going to be doing negative 10, because positive 10 and negative 10 are opposite to each other. So if I click the green flag now, if I click the right, it moves to the right, and if I move to the left, it'll also move to the left as well. Great. So I'm going to stop the program again. And now we're going to do the same thing for player 2. And how we're going to do this is, remember that if the blue L is pressed, we should move to the left. And if blue R is pressed, we should move to the right. So let's take the right one first. Remember that we always want to move positive to go to the right. So we're going to do the right one as positive. So now when I click this positive R, you can see that it moves. Now, let's make sure you click back to player 2 over here. Let's figure out how to do the left. Remember, the opposite of right is always going to be left. So the opposite of 10 is going to be, pause the video and tell me again. If you said negative 10, you're correct. So now you can see that we have some movement over here, and we can also move via the right and the left paddle as well. So now that we got our Pong ready to be played, you can see that when I move these, we got them moving and bouncing, everything's working just right. Let's figure out how we get our score. So you can see right now that if the ball touches the red side at all, we should give a point to red because this is the red goal. Over here, if it touches the blue side, it should be a blue goal. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to go to where it says variables over here on the left, and we're going to change something by 1. So this is really important. If red scores, we should give red a score. So what we're going to do is we're going to change and give player 1 a score. So now you can see that if the ball touches the red side, you'll see that right over here that the player 1 score gets a number. So let's try this again. If we want player 2 score to increase by 1 when the ball reaches to the blue side, how do we do that? Go ahead and pause the video and I want you to try. If you said change and player 2 score, you're correct. So now we can see what happens if we move this red paddle and you see that the ball touches the blue. We see that player 2 also gets a score, as shown by over here. Oops. So let's restart and let's figure out how to say a good job. So if anyone scores you would always say good job to the person that scores. And we're going to have our referee over here do the same. So, we're going to go into looks, and under here, we're going to say hello for 2 seconds. So, let's see what happens. If player 1 scores, then we can see that the referee will say hello. But is it right to say hello, or should we say something like, good job to player 1, because player 1 scored? So when player 1 scores, remember that this means player 1 scored, we're going to say, good job, player 1. Now, I want you to pause the video and tell me what you think should happen if player 2 scores now. So go ahead, pause the video. If you said, good job, player 2, you are correct. So you can see now that when player 2 scores, that the referee will say good job to player 1 and player 2, and we get the fully updated scores over there. So, now you can enjoy your game, playing with your left and right paddles, and we can also get our score so you can tell who's winning and who just scored a point. So, we hope you had fun today, and can't wait to see you next time.